We've designed the MyoCycle and the packaging so it is as easy to unbox and assemble as possible. That said, we know that things can go wrong, so if you ever need any help with the unboxing or the assembly process, please don't hesitate to give Mylan a call and we can help you out. This video is not meant to be the only resource for myocyclists. More detailed instructions can be found in the MyoCycle user guide, and remember that Mylan has an excellent support team, including clinical specialists that can help you optimize your program and progress. First thing I'm doing is cutting the tape on the top of the box to get the top open. So the first box we're taking out is the box with the user guide and the tools and some of the MyoCycle components that we'll be using later. Just set that to the side. Second box we're taking out actually has the MyoCycle console inside of it. There are a number of components inside the box here that are zip tied to the cardboard, keeping them in place. And we're going to use the cutters to cut those zip ties, free those components, get them out of the box so that we can continue removing everything else from the box here. All right, so now I'm going to be removing the cardboard that's holding in the wheelchair attachment assembly and the cardboard that was holding the pedals in place. I'm just going to grab that handle, lift this assembly up and out. I can take this piece and just set it off to the side. And continue pulling this piece out, which is the chair attachments and the wing, the base of the MyoCycle. And we'll just set that stuff off to the side here, and we can continue unpacking. Now the part that we want to free is the handlebars. The cardboard that the handlebars was attached to, I'm going to pull that out to get it out of the way. Inside here, there's a piece of cardboard that is protecting the frame of the MyoCycle. We just cut the plastic wrap off of that, so now it is free and can be removed from the frame here and just pulled out just like that. Next thing we're gonna do is grab this handlebar piece that we have freed. Be gentle with it so that we don't pull this cable or damage the cable at all. And we're going to insert it into the body of the MyoCycle here. I'm gonna take this extra cable slack and pull it up that way so that we can just insert it right in there, pull the pin, slide the handlebars down a bit until it locks into place like that. So the next step is we're going to cut the bottom of the box so that we can open the box from the bottom and undo the screws that are bolting the MyoCycle to the base board inside the box here. The way that I'm going to do that, I have the handlebars in here now, and I'm just going to tilt the whole thing back to the ground, just like that. So now I'm going to take my handy dandy cutters and I'm going to cut the edges of this box so that I can open the bottom of the box up. See that we have the MyoCycle now bolted to the wooden base plate, and that's what we're going to be focused on now, is undoing these 4 screws at the bottom here. Inside the box we had a couple of hex keys. The big one is going to be used on these bolts here, and the small one's going to be used on these bolts down here. While we're doing this, unscrewing these bolts, I'm supporting the MyoCycle inside the box with my other hand, just to give it some extra support, just like that. So now we have the MyoCycle base board removed. The box is totally open, so the final step is to just roll the MyoCycle out of the box here. So the next thing we're going to do is put the base onto the MyoCycle. We have zip ties on both sides that we're going to cut with our cutters and free these pieces up. So now we have this piece, which is the base plus the telescoping chair attachments. We're going to take these bolts here that we removed in this earlier step, together with our large Allen wrench, and we're going to use these through here to bolt this wing piece to the MyoCycle. So now we have the base plate on the MyoCycle, and we're going to put the pedals on. Start with the left pedal assembly, which goes on the left side of the MyoCycle here. This is the crankshaft, this is the crank arm. That shaft has to go through that hole, and the key on the bottom has to go in that keyway. To do that, we're just going to line the shaft up with the hole there, and then we're going to rotate until that key is lined up, and then we're just going to push the crank arm onto the shaft there. And now we're going to secure the right pedal the same way. So these bolts are going to be used to clamp the crank arm onto the crankshaft to secure the pedals in place. So we want to make sure that the head goes in this side where it's going to be flush with the crank arm. When we tighten this crank arm bolt down, we want it to be very snug. So the console is in this box here, and then this is the mounting piece, and we're going to mount it to the MyoCycle. So we have the cable coming out of the neck here, and it's going to go into the back here. You can feel it insert, and then tighten these thumb screws down. Important to tighten these down all the way. So now that the MyoCycle is fully assembled, the way to move the MyoCycle around is we grab the handlebars, push them down so that the bike weight tilts onto that roller wheel, and now we can roll freely. At Myolin, our mission is to improve health and human performance by empowering people to move. Thank you for joining us on this mission, and welcome to Team Myolin.